the show. Take a listen and think about where you may have heard this before. The piece is called Adiemus, and it was famously used by Delta Airlines in commercials and in flight. It was written by Karl Jenkins, one of the world's most popular living composers. His works, including The Armed Man, A Mass for Peace, and Palladio, are performed around the globe. This year, Sir Karl celebrates his 80th birthday with a world tour, beginning at New York's Carnegie Hall. Where else? And he joins me live from there now. Sir Karl Jenkins, thank you so much for joining us. It is quite an honor to have you on the program. You're celebrating your 80th birthday with an international concert tour. Why did you decide now was when you wanted to do this on your 80th?
Well, I usually come here every year or so, apart from the COVID years, of course, to be present at a concert of my own music that DCINY put on. John Hunt Griffiths, the conductor, and Iris Dirk, who's a fellow founder of the company. So it's a special year, it's a special number. It won't come around again. So it seemed a good idea to link it with a concert. I mean, I would have been here anyway at this time, but the birthday is actually in February the 17th. So it's a pre-birthday concert. So I'm honored and thrilled to be here for this.
Same birthday as my stepson, so I'll keep that in mind when we celebrate him. We'll be celebrating you as well. I'm just wondering, reflecting back on all of the previous tours and time spent in New York, you know, your piece, really, your music really focusing so much on peace at a time when there's so much turmoil around the world. Now 2 years into the war in Ukraine, obviously the ongoing war in Israel with Hamas and Gaza. Is it even more poignant for you now?
Yes, it kind of goes, what goes around, you know, comes around again. And it's, The Armed Man was commissioned in 1998 as a millennium piece to celebrate the millennium and hopefully a century of peace and love and good faith in each other and a wonderful world, but it never happened. At the time, the global conflict was the war in the Balkans, Kosovo, so I dedicated the piece to the victims of Kosovo. Now it will either be Ukraine or what's happening in the Middle East. It's all quite tragic. I've just written a piece called One World, which talks about the planet, how we got here, and deals with issues like slavery, mendacious politicians, of which there are quite a few in the UK and in USA. So it's quite depressing, really, but it's what I do. It's my well, not livelihood. It's more than that. It's like a drug. I'm addicted to writing music, so that's what I do. So ironically, the new work is called One World, and the one movement that summarizes what it's all about is a saying in Hebrew called Tikkun Olam, which means repair the world. And there's still a chance that this thing has blown up in Israel and Palestine now.
You mentioned The Armed Man. Here you are, solo piano performance. Let's play it for our viewers. I just really wanted to use that as an excuse to watch you play and have our audience respond and listen to it as well. So I don't have a question off of that, but I do want to talk about your tour in New York, because you observed Martin Luther King Day with concerts in New York, obviously a man who strived for peace and equality. Talk about the significance of that and his legacy as exposed through your music.
About Carnegie Hall, you mean?
Yes, Carnegie Hall, but you observed Martin Luther King Day with concerts in New York at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, it's Monday, but Carnegie Hall is kind of iconic place. I thought I'll have to remember my list, but I'm in the archive room, and it's incredible. There's Dvorak, the Czech composer, who's here, Yehudi Menuhin, Toscanini, Maria Callas, and then there come Basie, Billy Eckstine, Rolling Stones. I could go on Frank Sinatra over there, and Billie Holiday over Dolly Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Stan Getz. So composers, conductors, Bernstein, global icon, and the movie, which I've just seen. It's remarkable, really, and it's probably the most iconic concert hall in the world. I mean, it must be, if you judge it by the number of wonderful people who've come through here on this stage. So it's an honor to come to this room, really, and perform.
And yet you've never left your Welsh roots behind. Obviously, King Charles chose your work to perform at his coronation. I was going to ask you about something you've been asked about before now, just the idea, perhaps, that you were Meghan Markle in disguise. You've addressed that before. We'll have to talk about that another time.
The Meghan Markle thing, oh yeah. Well, that was a great moment in my life. Not that, but the fact that being present at the coronation, because I'm writing a piece of music for it, because it's like being part of history, being present when something happened. Funnily enough, I saw the coronation of his mother, the Queen, from a small television, black and white, 12-inch screen, whenever it was, when I was 9 years old. In South
What
Wales,
an honor.
where I was raised. So, yeah, so I never thought that would come around and be part of it.
Well, we want to wish you a happy birthday, and keep playing, keep performing. Your music resonates around the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.